Each night for the Menlo Knights, the size of the arena grows larger, as does the degree of importance of their matchup. Tonight, the arena is the Oakland Coliseum. The opponent are the Modesto Panthers, and at stake, the Northern California Division II crown and the right to advance to the state championship game next weekend in Los Angeles. Well, here it is, Oakland Coliseum Arena and the Northern California Division II championship game between the Menlo Knights and the Modesto Panthers. Last night in Stockton, the Knights defeated the Anderson Cubs 60-50 in order to get to this game. The Knights are ranked first in the state by Cal High Sports in Division II, and ranked seventh in the state are tonight's opponents, the Modesto Panthers. Last night in Stockton, Modesto won the second semifinal game, beating Hayward by a score of 59-50. With us tonight is Pete Ebner, and Pete saw the first part of that game last night. He's here to tell us a little bit about the Modesto Panthers. Pete?
Thanks very much, Ian. Modesto appears to be a quick team. They appeared also to rebound well, and I would say that they have 5 players that are quite well matched and should give Menlo a tough time. I did notice that their center, Sergio Harrison, he's 6'5", and he averages 9.8 points per game. In fact, 5 players on this Modesto team have averaged between 9.8 and also 12.1. So they have a very good distribution of scoring of the 5 players, just like Menlo again. It appeared that they played man-to-man last night in the first quarter, and the score was fairly close, so there was no indication that I had after the first period that Modesto would win, because it looked like a pretty close game between Hayward and Modesto. As it turned out, 59-50 in Modesto's favor. Modesto landed 4 players on the first team All-League and 1 on the second, and also they had 2 more that earned honorable mention. So that says a lot for the Modesto basketball team this year. There are only 4 seniors on the Panthers squad. In fact, 1 junior, Ron Dixon, is already being recruited by some of the colleges, so that says a lot for him. He's only 5'9", but he did average 10 points per game, so that's a little bit of background on Modesto.
Okay, thank you very much, Pete. And of course, Ron Dixon is that heralded guard, probably a star from Modesto. Modesto comes in with a record of 28-4, Menlo 30-3. Menlo the champions of the Central Coast section, and Modesto the Sacramento Joaquin Valley section. Yeah, well, it's hard to believe that only 4 weeks ago Menlo was in Woodside, losing to the Woodside Wildcats and being forced to share the league title. And tonight they're playing for the chance to advance to Los Angeles and play for the state title. Well, that's the way this game of basketball goes. A team that's up in a tournament like this has the advantage if it's the end of the season and they can go all the way. We'll see who it's going to be, Menlo or Modesto, in just 1 minute.
Number 4, Ron Dixon.
Rolling the player introductions now. Ron Dixon, the star for Modesto.
Number 3,
Drew Ferrando for Menlo.
At the other guard for Modesto, a senior, number 5,
Dennis Wend, the other guard, 5'11" senior, averages 10.2 points a game. John Pay, player of the league in the Peninsula Athletic League, had 15 points last night. Anthony Matthews, a forward, leading scorer for Modesto. They've got a balanced scoring team. Modesto, 12.1 points a game. Matt Halprin at forward for Menlo. Brian Kelly, 10.6 points a game, 6'4" forward. Another junior, Brian Protiva, the great defender for Menlo. And at center, number 44, Sergio Harrison, 6'5" senior. It's going to be a very important player tonight for Modesto, trying to defend against this man, Eric Reveneau, who set a new season-high scoring record for himself last night with a 26-point effort, and was greatly effective, especially when Anderson's 6'5" forward was absent. So those are the starting lineups, and we'll be tipping off in just a moment.
I think we're ready.
Ready for the opening tip-off. Sergio Harrison against Eric Reveneau. The Menlo Nightmares enter and fire up the crowd immediately, and there's the tip. Modesto dominates it. Brian Kelly wins the tip. He goes to Dennis Wen, number 5, and now it's to 4, Ron Dixon. Dixon, the ball handler. 44 is Harrison on top. It goes. This is Wen from the right perimeter. It's too hard off the back rim, and there's a call underneath. Immediately, number 33, that's Tony Matthews, called for the foul. Menlo inbound.
Personal foul, number 33, Anthony Matthews, first personal, first team foul.
Drew Ferrando scored 6 points last night. That's what he's been averaging throughout the playoffs. He looks to Al Klein for the play. And tonight, Modesto comes out in a man-to-man. John Pay gets open on the baseline, goes back on top to Protiva. Lob pass to Halpern. Halpern pumps once, pumps again, and is fouled by Matthews. And quickly, Tony Matthews has picked up 2 fouls. He's their leading scorer, and he's in trouble already with only 36 seconds left in the 36 seconds gone in the game, rather. And Matt Halpern goes to the line.
Matt Halpern on the line, shooting 2.
Matt picked up 6 points last night, and he opens the scoring for Menlo, makes it 1-0. Second one's no good. Protiva gets the rebound and puts it in. Brian Protiva getting position on the offensive boards, slipping inside of Modesto. A big mistake there by Modesto gives Menlo essentially a 3-point play. Down low goes to Wen. Wen with the turnaround, and it's good. Nice shot by Dennis Wen from 14. 3-2. Down low goes to Halpern. Halpern pumps once. He didn't need to, but he gets it up and it's in, and he's fouled on the way up. Referee didn't signal it's good, but it should be. Yes, they count it, and Halpern has a chance for a 3-point play. Well, I question Matt's hesitating or pumping once before going up there, but it turned out it worked out as Matt hit the shot off the glass. He's got 3 and make it 4. Matt Halpern, 4 points. And perhaps tonight we'll go back to the typical playoff pattern that Menlo has had of everybody getting into the scoring act. Last night they got away from that as Anthony Matthews hits the shot from 17. Matthews has his first 2 points of the night. Pay from the right baseline, left baseline, no good, and tip rebound is loose. Halpern tips it, finally Revenue gets it, goes to Pay. Pay hesitates going to the lane, pulls it back out. Drew Ferrando on top. Menlo leads 6-4, 6:15 left in the first quarter of this Northern California Division II championship game. Protiva from 16, in and out, no good. And the ball's loose, and Protiva should be called for the foul. He is. First personal foul, first team foul on Brian Protiva.
Personal foul number 34, Brian Protiva, first personal, first team foul.
Ron Dixon, as Pete Ebner said before the game, he's already being recruited or at least looked at. Most people in the area feel that he will be playing somewhere after he graduates from high school. Ball's knocked out of bounds. Dennis Wen to inbound. Finds Tony Matthews. Matthews goes up immediately from 17 and hits. And Anthony Matthews is quickly establishing himself as someone that you can't give even a couple of feet without paying for it. Menlo's paid for it twice so far. Matthews has 4 points, 2 fouls. Protiva whips it to Ferrando. Ferrando's got the open 16-footer, and he hits. 8-6 for the Knights. Drew Ferrando hits his first 2 points of the night. Eric Revenue yet to even get up a shot tonight after getting 27 last night, and Revenue rejects, and Halpern comes down with it. Outlet to Pay. Pay pulls it up. Eric Revenue intimidating on the defense. Brian Protiva pumps once and almost puts Sergio Harrison off the court. Now Protiva's got an open shot and he doesn't take it. It goes back out on top. And underneath, it's off of Sergio Harrison and out of bounds. It appears that on defense, oh, it's not off of Sergio Harrison, it's off of Reveno, apparently. Menlo also sticking with the man, similar to last night. Both teams going with the man. Pay comes down with the rebound off of the missed shot. Outlet pass to Protiva. Protiva going to the boards, can't make it. Ferrando tips, and there's a foul from behind. Dennis Wen fouled Ferrando. Ferrando was going to the basket, trying to tip it in. We'll see if they give him the shot from the line. They will. And with only 4:40 remaining in the first, oh, they won't give him the shot either. They're going to inbound from underneath. With only 4:40 left in the first quarter, that's 4 team fouls on Modesto. Reveno's shot is missed. Sergio Harrison comes down with the rebound. Tony Matthews has it open in the corner, doesn't go. Ron Dixon on top to Wend. Matthews guarded by Halprin. Wend to Kelly. Wend down low. Matthews has an open shot. Is partially deflected by Reveno again. Halprin comes down with it. Pay bounce pass to Protiva. Protiva's shot is blocked. Sergio Harrison. Harrison appears to be a strong defensive player. Stationed at center for the Panthers. Harrison posting up high. He's guarded by Protiva, however. The shot from outside by Matthews is no good. Long rebound for Halprin. Ferrando with the slow dribble. We're down to 3:35 remaining first quarter. It's 8-6 for Menlo. Halprin's got an open 15-footer. He puts it up, too short. Rebound for Wend. He's got a 2-on-1. Wend on the fast break. He's being chased by Reveno. Ferrando's the only man between Dixon and the basket. Dixon's caught in the air. Can't do anything with it. Protiva's got a loose ball. He's got another chance at the layup. He's missed 2 so far, and he misses another one. Tony Matthews comes down with the rebound. Going to the basket is Harrison. He pushes off of Pay. No good, gets his own rebound back, goes up from 6, and it's too hard, and offensive rebound again, and Pay fouls Dixon. There's no call. Matthews goes to the basket, lays it in, and he's fouled from behind by Reveno. Tie ball game, it's 8-8. Tony Matthews has 6 points on the night already. Going to the line to try to make it 7 and give Modesto their first lead of the night. Second team foul on the Knights. 2:56 remaining, first quarter. Reveno comes down with the rebound of the missed free throw. Outlet to Pay. Pay's going to have to slow it up. It appears on defense that Modesto is posting Dixon on top. Dixon has the zone on top. And Menlo's going to spread it early tonight, trying to draw the defense out. Be interesting to see if they come out to meet it. They do. Menlo's last 2 opponents have chosen to be very lackadaisical in guarding against the 4 corners. Now in this situation, Menlo isn't using this to kill time, but using this to try to find space underneath and get it to Reveno or Halprin going to the bucket, or to get Pay in the middle to drive into the lane. As I was saying, when Menlo's on a set offense, it appears that Modesto has 1 or 2 men stationed on top. Now it goes to Halprin underneath. Halprin has to pump twice, goes up. And there's a foul called underneath on Harrison. Sergio Harrison picks up his first. Halprin's going to be going to the line again. Matt's already got 4 points on the night.
Matt Halprin at the line, shooting 2.
So Matt's got a chance to equal his point total of last night. So far, Halprin has 4, and Protiva and Ferrando 2 each, and now Halprin has 5. Oakland Coliseum Arena tonight. Good crowd on hand. Certainly nowhere near full, but this isn't the Warriors. This is the NorCal high school basketball tournament, and I'd say there's probably around 5,000 people on hand. Matt Halprin hits both free throws. He's got 6 points on the night. So far a good night for Matt. On top, Ron Dixon, not a big scorer, but one of the top players in the league. That's the Valley Oak League that Modesto is in. Pay drives all the way down the lane and walks in the lane, trying to dish it off to Ferrando on the left. Dixon, the ball handler, hasn't looked that outstanding so far for Modesto. He's playing on the point. Menlo marking up man-to-man, and Protiva overplays on the pass, but Dixon gets the deflection. Matthews puts up, guarded by Halpern. It's no good. Pay comes down with the rebound. He's hacked from behind. Pay with the dribble drive. Pulls up right perimeter. It goes to Protiva. Protiva holds it in the corner. Will they go to the corners again? Yes, they're going to go to the corners again. Ferrando's got to move. There he does. Protiva to Halpern. Halpern's a hot man. He puts up a 16-footer and it crawls over, no good. And Revenue reaches over Harrison and fouls him on the way down. Revenue picks up his second foul with 39 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and it's the third team foul. 4, will make it 5 on Modesto now, so Menlo's in the bonus situation. This is Brian Kelly, 6'4" junior. Matthews to Kelly. Kelly fakes the shot. Kelly appears to be playing at center rather than Matthews. Matthews is listed as the center in the program and has an inch on Kelly. And Revenue rejects again. That's the third time tonight. Ferrando comes down with it. Pay's got one man to beat. It's Harrison. He lays it up, and Harrison goaltends. Harrison swatted it away after it had already hit the glass, and Menlo goes on top by 4. John Pay has his first bucket of the night. First 2 points. It wasn't actually a bucket, but he's credited with the 2 points. And a terrible pass by Dennis Wen goes to Ferrando. Ferrando's all alone, puts up a 16-footer as time was running out. And it's no good, but the buzzer sounds, and Menlo registers the last 4 points of the first quarter to go on top 12-8 after 8 minutes of play.
Ian, in the first quarter, we saw both teams deliberate offense, man-to-man. Pretty good rebounding by both teams. It's pretty close. That's pretty much what happened. They're kind of feeling each other out, I'd say.
Pete, I think that's true. The tempo was slowed down again by Menlo, and again, significantly, Menlo is controlling the tempo using that 4 corners. And Modesto, a quick team, hasn't been able to run. So it's 12-8 for Menlo. Halpern's got an open 16-footer, and he hesitates and wisely pulls it back out. Ferrando to Halpern. Now Halpern chooses not to put it up again. Looking for the man. He double dribbled, and there's no call. Oh, a blatant mistake by the referees. Halpern had already dribbled. He put it on the floor once again, and the referee didn't call it. Matt had held it long enough that the referee had forgotten. Menlo's killed the first 45 seconds so far. Pay drives into lane and snipes between 2 men, misses the shot, tips the rebound, no good. Pay with 3 rebounds tonight. This is Ron Dixon trying to drive all the way, and he loses control of the dribble, pulls it back out. Wens to Matthews. Matthews fakes left, does turn around to the right, no good. Revenue comes down with his 3rd rebound of the game. Outlet to Ferrando. Eric Revenue pulled down 11 rebounds unofficially last night. Probably 1 or 2 more than that, as it's hard to keep track and do this at the same time. The score remains 12-8 for Menlo. Pay goes to Halpern. Halpern's knocked over in the lane. What do they call it? They call it travel on Halpern. And Sergio Harrison is clutching at his knee, but he appears to be all right. Division II girls championship game was played before this with Anderson, whose boys team lost to Menlo last night, defeating Aptos, whose boys team lost to Menlo last week by a 52-45 score. So Anderson will be joining the winner of this game and the winner of the 2 Division I games next week in Los Angeles for the state championships. Wend holds the ball aloft, goes to Dixon. Dixon down low. Matthews looking for the shot. And Dixon puts it up, and it crawls over from 18 feet. Ron Dixon gets his first points of the night. Cuts the lead to 2. Halpern bounce pass down low to Revenue. Revenue's got position, and he slithers it in. He was guarded by Brian Kelly on the other end there. And now the ball's batted away by Pay, and it goes to Protiva, and Protiva to Ferrando, and Ferrando lays it up off the glass. Pay and Protiva intimidated on the defense. Protiva came up with the ball, doing a good job of keeping it in bounds, and Ferrando picks up his second bucket of the night. Drew Ferrando, 4 points, 16-10, 6-point lead, biggest of the night. Revenue reaching over Kelly, knocks the ball out of bounds on the baseline. Dennis Wend inbounds. Brian Kelly on top. Goes to number 45. That's Andy Gonzalez in for Modesto. Matthews puts it on up from 8 and nails it. So Matthews picks up his 8th point of the night. Andy Gonzalez into the game. Trying to see who it is that's left. It's Sergio Harrison who's left. Pay puts up a hook off the glass, no good, gets his own rebound, puts up another hook, and that's short. Revenue tips his rebound once and throws it up over the glass. He must have been fouled. There's no possible way Eric could have thrown it up that hard without being fouled, but there's no call. Well, seems there must have been contact. I can't imagine Eric throwing the ball 4 feet past the basket. That would really be an overdose of adrenaline. Brian Kelly puts one up in off the glass from 15. Kelly's got his first points tonight. John Pay and Eric Revenue, both 4 rebounds to this point for Menlo. John had 8 last night himself. John's got an open shot from the right perimeter. Gonzalez compensates quickly, comes out to meet him. John pulls the defense back out. Comes and gets the ball from Protiva. Lob pass to Protiva, back door. Protiva has to leap and come down to get it, and he slithers under a man, and Revenue with the tip. Revenue goes up with both hands and bats it off the glass. Revenue's got 4 points on the night. Menlo using extremely balanced scoring so far. Halpern has 6. Revenue and Ferrando rather 4, and Pay and Protiva 2 each. And Kelly's shot is rejected by Revenue. Revenue's got 4 blocks in the night already. Dixon from 12, no good, and Ferrando gets the rebound. Drew Ferrando. Drew got a few himself last night. Drew got 3 rebounds last night, which is about 2 more than he usually gets in a game. Another backdoor. This is Halpern. Halpern has the ball knocked away by Wend. A great defensive play by Dennis Wend. Wend hesitation on the dribble, pulls up, goes to Kelly. Kelly outside. It's 18-14 for Menlo. Dixon lob pass to Matthews. See if Matthews turns around. He's double teamed, and he lays one up off the side of the glass. Tried to twist the body and throw it in right-handed, and Pay goes to Protiva, and Protiva, is he called for the walk? No, it's Wend fouling him from behind, hacking him, reaching over. Good job by John Pay of getting the ball to Protiva and making Wend stay with him so that Protiva could get out in front of him. All Wend could do was foul him. That's Wend's second. Sergio Harrison re-enters the game. Andy Gonzalez leaves. And number 3, Keith Walters enters the game. Gonzalez doesn't leave. Walters comes in, and Harrison comes in. Protiva shooting 2. First one is no good. Brian Kelly out, along with Dennis Wend now. Walters is a junior. And the rebound for Harrison. This is Walters from the baseline, and he nails it. Modesto, excellent outside shooters. And it's 18-16 for Menlo. Menlo's going to have to stay tight on defense on the perimeter because Modesto's hitting whenever they've got the chance. Now Pay and Revno both posting up on the free throw line. Pay escapes down to the left corner. Protiva's got it outside left. Halpern to Pay. They've drawn everyone out. Their high post. Now Protiva gets back door. Now he slides out to the corner. Halpern holding the ball off, and there's a foul underneath, and it's on Walters. Walters knocks Pay over. Pay's going to go to the line because we're in the bonus situation, so John's going to go to the line. He's only got 2 points so far in the night. 2:22 remaining in the first half. It's 18-16 for the Knights. One-and-one situation. John hits the first. Last night from the line, John was 11 of 12, getting the majority of his points from the line. He didn't shoot well from the field last night, but he handled the ball enough to pick up all those fouls and go to the line, and Protiva fouls underneath, and he knew it. Matthews came down with the rebound. Protiva fouled him. Menlo's still not in the bonus situation, so Modesto has to inbound. Second on Protiva. He and Revno both have 2. They'd like to finish out the half without picking up any more. Harrison drives in the lane, is batted away by Ferrando. And who's going to be called for the foul? Someone pushing off. I thought maybe Ferrando and made contact, but that's not going to be the case. Menlo's now picked up their 5th team foul. And that's Protiva they're going to call the foul on, and Brian's picked up 2 quick ones here, and he's got 3. No action on the bench, so apparently they'll leave Brian in for the moment, even though he's picked up 3 fouls. Sergio Harrison to the line. 1-1, much too hard. Revno down with the rebound. He's got 6. Good rebounding night so far for Eric. 6 rebounds in the first quarter. He's been averaging a little less than 13 through the playoffs. Protiva on top. Halpern looks for Revno down low. He can't get it to him. He goes to Pay. 1:45 remaining. Menlo leads 19-16. Protiva puts up a 15-footer, and it's in. A rim rattler goes down. Protiva hits his 2nd bucket of the night. He's 0 for 2 from the foul line. 21-16, a 5-point lead. Menlo's biggest lead of the night has been 6. Modesto has not led. Matthews triple team, now double team. Ferrando falls off. Matthews has position behind Revno. Revno's trying to block the ball away from him. Gonzalez goes to Matthews in the corner. Harrison holding the ball on top. Modesto switching, trying to lose their men. Dixon's open from 16, and it's too short. Revno loses the rebound. Matthews drives to the hoop and lays it up, no good. Gets his own rebound. He stole the rebound from Walters. Walters would have had the offensive rebound, and Matthews stole it away from him, and Ferrando came up with it. Menlo spreads it again. There's 40 seconds left. It's hard to say whether they're playing for the last shot or whether they're going to attack. Last night, this happened at the end of the first half at about the same time, and Pay saw the lane and drove all the way to the basket. Now there's 20 left. It looks like they're going to be playing for the last shot. Ferrando drives to the top, goes to Pay. Now Pay will probably do the same thing and go to Protiva, and Protiva goes back to Pay. 10 seconds. Pay drives into the lane, puts up one from 8, and it's in and out. Tip Revno, no good. Revno gets it back, and he's fouled, and there's 4 seconds left, and Eric will go to the line. Foul is on Sergio Harrison. And Harrison picks up his 3rd.
Eric Revno on the line, shooting 2.
Again, Harrison listed at center, and even in the pre-game he was announced as the center, but hasn't appeared to be playing center so much as Brian Kelly, although Kelly's out of the game now, so center is there, or so rather Harrison is there. Reveno throws up a line drive the first time. The second one's too short, and the rebound comes to Walters, and he's got 2 seconds left, and he puts it up beyond half court, and it's no good. So Eric Reveno fails to capitalize on the free throw opportunity. And the first half of this Northern California Championship has come to an end, and the Knights have led all the way through. The score with half of this game gone and half remaining is the Knights 21 and the Modesto Panthers 16.
Here are the halftime statistics for both teams. Let's look first at the visitors from the Valley Oak League. The Modesto Panthers had one forward with a 12.1 scoring average, Tony Matthews. He picked up 4 baskets for a total of 6 in the first, or I should say 3 baskets first period, and a basket for a total of 8 points first half. Brian Kelly, the other forward, averaging 11.6 points per game, had a basket second quarter for 2 points. At center, Sergio Harrison picked up no points, but he did pick up 3 personal fouls, so he's in most trouble for Modesto this evening thus far. At one guard was Ron Dixon, who we talked about, sought after already as a junior, had only 1 basket second quarter for 2 points. The other guard that rounded out the starting 5 was Dennis Wend with a 10.2 scoring average. He picked up only 1 basket first quarter for 2 points. In the reserves, we saw Andy Gonzalez, who did not score, and the other reserve was Keith Walters, who picked up a basket in the second quarter for 2 points. Total scoring for Modesto first half was 16. Now for Menlo, they were led by Matt Halpern, surprisingly enough, because he had 6 points for the whole game last night. Tonight he has 6 points in the first quarter alone on 1 basket, and he was 4 for 5 from the foul line. The other forward was Brian Protiva, and his point production has been down noticeably last night as well as tonight. He scored 4 points on 2 baskets. At center, Eric Reveno had 2 baskets and 0 for 2 from the foul line in the second quarter, total of 4 points. And also we have to look at the personal fouls for Menlo at this point as we go along. Reveno has 2 personals and Brian Protiva with 3. In the backcourt, John Pay under his usual point production with a basket and 1 for 2 from the foul line for 3 points first half. Rounding out the starting 5 is Drew Ferrando with a basket in each quarter for Menlo. That's it for the scoring for Menlo. First half 21 to Modesto's 16. And for the rebounding, Ian, what do you have?
On the unofficial rebounding stats, Pete, Eric Reveno, not surprisingly, leading the Knights with 7, and John Pay from the backcourt has picked up 4. Drew Ferrando, Matt Halpern 2 apiece, and Protiva 1. Although Protiva has been outstanding on defense as usual, and Matt's picked up a number of loose balls from Eric Reveno's blocked shots. I think Eric had 4 in the first half. Sergio Harrison picked up 4, and Tony Matthews 3 from Modesto. And quickly now, we're ready to start the second half. First half, I think, was exemplary of Menlo's scoring balance that they've had throughout most of the playoffs, excluding last night's game, but all the starters getting between 3 and 6 points. While, on the other hand, Modesto's scoring was certainly dominated by Tony Matthews. Menlo gets the tip. Same 5 starters in for Menlo. For Modesto, it's Dixon and Wend, Kelly and Matthews, and Harrison at center, so that's the same starting 5 for them, too. Menlo did not sub throughout the entire first half. Normally, Bob Fitzpatrick has come on in the second half for Ferrando at some point, but not tonight. The man-on-man remains in vogue for Modesto. (21-16) the count again. Menlo working the ball patiently. Reveno's got it down low. He goes up from 8, and no good is the shot. Harrison comes down with the rebound. Dixon on top. A lane down the baseline for Kelly, and it's blocked again. Eric Reveno got a piece of the ball. Something he did at least 4 times in the first half. Pay comes down with it. Ferrando give and go from Protiva, and Ferrando drops it and kicks it out of bounds. Turnover for Menlo. 6:32 remaining. Now it's 6:30, so with a minute and a half gone in the third quarter, there's no score in the third quarter so far. Menlo holds a 5-point lead. Their biggest was 6 in the first half. Modesto has never led. The last 2 games Menlo has played, the opponent has only led once, and each time it was early in the second half, and Harrison goes up with a floater from 12 feet, and it does a little circumnavigation of the basket before deciding it likes what it sees and drops through. Harrison picks up his first points tonight, so now all 5 of the starters for Modesto have scored. 21-18 now. Pay down low, turnaround jumper, 12 feet, high bounce, no good. Tipped rebound by Matthews, and Kelly comes up with it. Dixon to Harrison. Harrison hesitates, goes to the baseline, and is rejected by Reveno again. Eric Reveno, 6 blocks. Brian Protiva, another chance, and this time he makes the layup. Reveno rejected it. Pay came up with it. Dribbled to half court. Fired the pass through to Protiva, and Protiva had to spin. And now on the other end, there's a walk by Brian Kelly. Menlo has a 5-point lead and has the ball back. Brian Protiva had 3 chances to make breakaway layups in the first half and missed all of them. This time he converts, and he's got 6, I believe. He has 6 points. Menlo hasn't been too effective from the free throw line so far, with the exception of Matt Halpern, who had 4 of 5 in the first half. Brian Protiva 0 for 2, Reveno 0 for 2, Pay 1 for 2. And Modesto only got to the line once throughout the entire first half, and they missed that shot. Make it 2. They missed 2. Reveno inside, and he spins and once and hooks it in off the glass. Reveno started to go up to the right, decided that wasn't the way to do it, and spun to his left and hooked it over his right shoulder. A 7-point lead is 25-18. That's the biggest margin of the night. Harrison wants to go up, can't do it, and Reveno reaches in from behind on Kelly and draws the foul. I believe that's Eric Reveno's 3rd. It is. So now both the centers for both sides have 3 fouls apiece. Immediately Tony Matthews goes up and he throws up a poor shot. Reveno comes down with the rebound. He's got 8. And Ferrando calls timeout on the other end, and there's 4:25 left, and Menlo leads 25-18. And I'd just like to point out on the free throw shooting that Menlo's free throw shooting was under par, and Modesto went 0 for 2. And I wouldn't be surprised if that had something to do with the situation of tonight's game, Pete, being such an important game and in a place such as the Oakland Coliseum Arena.
Well, I think that free throw shooting is important, and you know, time will tell what's going to happen, because you know, when we look up at the book here, Menlo is really going to have to improve on their free throw shooting. One of the comments I wanted to make, I think, that kind of points out where both teams are playing both of the same deliberate style offense. Occasionally a fast break, but pretty much working, you know, trying to get the ball underneath. I would say I would give the crisp passing to Menlo. They seem to be moving the ball just a little bit better inside, and they're getting the baskets when they count. So thus far, Menlo still stays ahead by 6 points, and who knows what's going to happen. But as long as Menlo keeps it up, maybe they should keep that lead.
And if Modesto gets in foul trouble like they did, in team foul trouble like they did early in the first half, and Menlo converts some of those, they could really put this game away early, especially with the tempo being slow as it is, which always tends to work as an advantage to Menlo, because they can control the game so well when they get ahead late in the game. Right now it's a 7-point lead, and Protiva can't get the ball in bounds. Harrison knocks it away. 4:17 remaining, third quarter. A low-scoring affair so far. It was only 21-16 at halftime. Halpern tries to drive the baseline. Matthews blocks his way. Pay lobs it out to Ferrando on top. Still a one-on-one defense. And Harrison overplays on Protiva, knocks the ball away. Kelly is playing underneath again. He's back in, and Harrison is playing in the forward slot, at least on defense. Halpern finds Pay, lob pass to Reveno. Reveno wants to give it back to Pay, he can't do it. Halpern drives the lane, just back out to Reveno. Protiva makes a steal, drives to the basket, and his shot is swatted away by Kelly, but Kelly was on top of Protiva. And Protiva will get a shot at the charity stripe. First foul on Kelly. And the first team foul with only 3:49 remaining in the third quarter. Brian was at the line twice in the first half and missed both shots. This time he hits the first. An 8-point lead for Menlo. And they're quietly drawing away again, as they have done so often. Last night they ended up winning by 10, and it really snuck up on you. Even though they dominated the whole game, it was close, and Menlo just seemed to sneak out in front in the fourth quarter and put the game away. 27-18, it's a 9-point lead now. .5 minutes to play in this game, and Menlo will go to Los Angeles if they can hold the lead. Menlo's gone to the zone. Eric Reveno on top, long rebound to Ferrando. Ferrando outlet to Pay. Pay's got two men. Wen fouls him on the way, and they'll inbound. That was before the shot. For the first time in the game, Menlo had gone to the zone, the 1-2-2 with Reveno out on top that they started using against Jefferson. Dennis Wen picked up his third foul just there. So now two of the Modesto players have three, and the inbounds pass is knocked away by Kelly, and Ferrando was the last man to touch it, but the referee on the baseline couldn't get a look at that. Modesto will get a chance, rather Menlo will get a chance again to inbound. It's a 9-point lead. Menlo looking to push the margin into double figures. Reveno got the inbounds pass and lays it in off the glass. A 5-foot shot off the glass. Reveno seemed to wait a while before he put that one up, and I guess he wanted to make it look good. He still put it in. 8 points now for Eric Reveno, and he's moved into the scoring lead along with Protiva. Sean Pay, surprisingly, only 3 points so far. He hasn't even had a chance to put up many shots. Harrison drives the baseline, puts up a long air ball, no good. And Modesto seems to be starting to force the shots a little. Though they trail by 11, they've still got more than 10 minutes left in the game, and really no reason to throw up shots like that. Protiva holding it. Lob pass inside to Reveno. He's got position, and he puts it in. 10 points for Eric Reveno. He came in averaging 16.2 a game for the 5 playoff games. He averaged over 15 during the playoffs, or rather during the regular season, I should say. Inside it goes to Harrison. Harrison puts up a 10-footer, and it's dreadfully short. Ferrando gets another rebound. Ferrando's got 4 rebounds on the night. Halpern, Matt scored 6 points in the first quarter, hasn't had anything since. Now he drives all the way to the lane and lays it in, and it goes around and out. And 2 tips by Eric Reveno put it in, and Eric Reveno is starting to dominate as he did last night. Menlo has gone on top 33-18. There's 1:57 remaining third quarter, and the Knights have scored all 8 points in this period. Or rather, no, I shouldn't say that. They've scored 12-2 and have scored the last 8 points. 1:57 left, and the Knights have gone on top 33-18, and Eric Reveno has 12 points.
Menlo appears to be very confident, and the confidence shows on the court, Ian, as once again, good passing underneath to Spring. Reveno for the baskets underneath have really pointed up already in this third quarter. Eric has 4 baskets for 8 points, 12 for the game, as you mentioned, and Menlo is rebounding. They're moving the ball up court, waiting for the good shot. They're patient, which you have to be if you want to win basketball games. And definitely Menlo is very businesslike tonight. And they're very deliberate, but businesslike and occasionally up-tempo.
And you could just see there how Menlo, as you said, with their while their confidence builds, and immediately as Revenue gets hot, they go to him underneath. And he's certainly dominating on the boards, especially the offensive boards. When he does that, he's going to get the points because he gets inside there and he can often tip it 2 or 3 times before putting it in. He's got 10 rebounds on the night now. Just another superb night for Revenue. 12 points, 10 rebounds. And Ron Dixon hits one from 18 feet. 4 points for Ron Dixon. Breaks a 10-point, or rather an 8-point run for Menlo. And now the defenses for both teams have changed here late in the third quarter. Menlo has gone to the 1-2-2. And Modesto is pressing, and again, Revenue gets position underneath. Modesto's letting him get inside of them. Matt Halpern made the excellent bounce pass along the baseline. Revenue just took it to the basket. He's got 14, 10 in the quarter. Dixon on top. Revenue playing the aggressive defense out on top in the 1-2-2. Harrison puts it up and cans it. Harrison from 14, but it's a 13-point lead still for Menlo. Sergio Harrison has 4. Menlo so adept at breaking the press. Modesto really can't expect it to help them, but that's what they have to do. It's still more than 8.5 minutes to play, but it's very hard to say that Menlo hasn't already locked up this game, because so often before they've been in this position, and the things that the other team will try to do, such as pressing and fouling, along with Menlo's ability to play the 4 corners, makes it so difficult for a team to come back against the Knights. Andy Gonzalez in the game picked up his first foul just there. It was the 3rd team foul. Neither team in real team foul trouble. Modesto's picked up 3 and Menlo just 1. 20 seconds remain in the half now. Menlo goes to the 4 corners to work for the last shot. It goes to Halpern low, and Halpern's hacked, and there's no call, and he goes up again, and again there's no call. There had to be some contact in there somewhere, and this time Protiva throws it up, and finally there's a call on Matthews, and Protiva will go to the line with 9 seconds left. Tony Matthews now picks up his 3rd foul, and it's 4 teams, so with 9 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, Menlo only needs to pick up 1 more foul in the half before they'll be able to go to the line anytime they want. Protiva misses from the line again. He's only 2 for 5. He's got 8 points on the night. Menlo drops 2 men back. Bryan hits the second one. It's Menlo 36 and Modesto 22. There's 7 seconds left. Dixon brings it down himself. He's only got 4 seconds. I'm not sure he realizes it. A bomb by Walters is no good, and time runs out. Walters had to put up a 22-foot shot. And in the 3rd quarter, Menlo outscores the Modesto Panthers by a 15-6 margin, stretches their lead from 5 to 14. And we're only 8 minutes from Los Angeles. It's the Knights 36 and the Panthers 22. Menlo a little late coming out for the tip. Menlo hasn't subbed for the entire game so far. 5 starters going all the way. And this is only less than 24 hours after they played a game in Stockton last night and couldn't have gotten back from that game until about 11:30. But 5 starters going all the way, a tribute to the shape that Menlo's coach Al Klein has kept them in. Again, that superb 3rd quarter, part of the second half that Menlo always seems to play so well. Dixon puts up a 20-footer. It's an air ball. And coming down with it is Walters, and Walters puts it home. Keith Walters on the basket. Menlo again breaks the press, and this time from behind, Walters knocks the ball away from Pay, but Menlo will get it back. 36 to 24. Eric Revenue ended the third quarter with 14 points and 10 rebounds. He's been averaging 13 rebounds a game, about 16 points. He should hit that tonight. A hook by Revenue is short. Eric might be getting just a little too confident now. It wasn't a very good shot selection. Menlo's got a 12-point lead. Dixon brings it down court. 1-2-2 zone. Revenue on top. Dixon goes to Wend. Wend goes to Harrison. Harrison puts up a 15-footer. It calls in, and the lead's quickly cut back to 10. 36-26. Harrison has 6, all in the second half. Protiva brings the ball court, bounces pass to Pay. Pay's got a 3-on-2. It goes to Halpern, and Halpern pulls it back out, and they're going to four corners. They're going to use up some time. 6:45 left. Menlo fans trying to drown out the boos of the Modesto fans who don't like the four corners. Pay drives all the way to the lane, and he's hacked. They call it on Pay. It's an offensive foul. Pay was attacked from all sides, but I guess the one man that was in front of him was stationary, and John ran over him, and now Modesto has a chance to cut the lead to 8. It was 36-22 at the end of the third quarter. Dixon with the dribble on top. Harrison to Dixon. Dixon with Revenue facing him. Harrison goes to Dixon. Dixon on top. And Modesto's going to have to take some outside shot because they're going to have trouble getting inside on this zone. And Wen puts one up, and it's in and out. Revenue comes down with the rebound. Wen took a low percentage shot from the baseline. He was actually behind the glass, and the ball just barely evaded hitting the side of the backboard. Ferrando has the ball stolen by Dixon, but there's a foul called. Ron Dixon almost made a clean steal, but made a little contact, picks up his first foul, and very important moment for Menlo. That's the 5th team foul in Modesto, and from now on, Menlo will go to the line with any foul. They've got a 10-point lead. Drew Ferrando hasn't been to the line tonight. Drew's got 4 points. 5:46 remains. Ferrando with 1 and 1. They've got to hit that first one, and he does. See if Menlo can display their cool one more time tonight. Against Jefferson, they had to hold the lead. Against Aptos, they had to hold the lead. Against Anderson last night, they had to hold the lead. And Revenue tips it home. A 3-point play, in essence, for Menlo. Eric Revenue using those long arms to reach over the Modesto man who had position on him and tip it home, and it's back up to 13 so suddenly for Menlo. Just moments ago, Modesto had the chance to cut it to 8. Now it's 13 because of 1 free throw, 1 tip in, and there's a foul called on Pay. Second personal foul for Menlo, for Pay rather, only the 3rd team. Harrison won't go to the line. He was going up, but they're not going to give him the shooting foul. Tony Matthews was a hot shooter in the first quarter, hasn't been heard from much since then. Has only 1 bucket since the first quarter. He had 6 points in the first quarter. Walters to Dixon, 5:15 left. Walters puts up a 21-footer, and he nails it. And there's a foul underneath. The basket does count, but Walters picks up the foul.
Personal foul number 33, Anthony Matthews, his 4th personal.
Or rather, Matthews picks up the foul. After the basket, we'll come down to the other end, and Ferrando will go to the line again. Ferrando hit 1 of his 2 last time, but the miss on the second shot was an opportune one as Eric Revenue tipped it home. And this one's too long. The 1-on-1 situation. Wayne comes down with the rebound. Protiva trying to chase from behind. Wen puts up a 6-footer. Revenue tips the rebound to Protiva. Protiva outlet to Ferrando. Ferrando gets position and lays it up too hard. And it's knocked out of bounds by Harrison. Harrison somehow couldn't come up with it. He was standing flat-footed. All he had to do was catch the ball. Instead, he swatted at it and knocked it out of bounds. Eric Revenue has 13 rebounds in the night. And 16 points. Just another exemplary night for the big man in the middle on his birthday. And if Menlo can sustain this 11-point lead for another 5 minutes, Eric Revenue is going to get a heck of a birthday present. He's going to get a trip to Los Angeles next weekend.
It's my birthday too, and I wonder if I'll get a trip to LA.
Pete, we'd sure like to take you along.
If for anything else, just to watch Headmaster Daly work with the Nightmares at halftime.
That would certainly be a treat. Although I'd go to see the game even if he wasn't there, actually. 4:58 remains. 39-28 lead. Menlo comes back to the floor. They're inbounding underneath the Modesto basket. They've had 3 points shaved off a 14-point lead here in the third quarter. Have not trailed throughout the game. They led 21-16 at halftime. The same 5 starters have gone the entire game. Just astounding condition these players must be in to go through these playoffs and play almost the entire game. And to be able to control the tempo as they do, running or slowing it down or doing whatever they seem to please. They really just seem to be able to do almost whatever they want with the tempo of the basketball game. 4:30 remains. They've gone to the 4 corners. They'll probably remain in for the remainder of the game. Down low it goes to Halpern, and Halpern loves to get it down low and just play with the defense and bring it right back out. Matt played an important part. Now there's a steal by Walters. Walters goes all the way and lays it in. Certainly not what Menlo wants to happen. 11-point deficit cut to 9, and Walters in a substitution role. We didn't even see him until the second quarter. Now has 8 points. As many as anyone for Modesto has. Ferrando bounce pass is intercepted. A careless pass by Ferrando. Harrison intercepts. And now with 3:45 left, the lead's down to 9, and Matthews almost loses out of the bounds, throws up an air ball. Halpern comes down with it, and he's fouled, and Halpern comes down hard in his elbow. That must be painful, coming down the hardwood like that, but Matt, I'm sure, wouldn't come out even if he broke his arm right now. Foul called. Matt's going to go on the other end, try to shake off the pain and hit a couple from the free throw line. He's 4 for 5 tonight from the line. I was beginning to say that Matt played an important role in getting Menlo going in the first quarter today as he hit 6 points. While Eric Revenue, again, had a scoreless first quarter, as has happened so often in the playoffs. Matt throws it up too hard. Wen comes down with the rebound. Chance to cut it to 7. And this is something I really didn't expect to happen. Wen lobs it to Matthews, and Pay makes the steal, and now Menlo counters. Menlo so good at holding a lead, and now they're going to call a timeout and try to regroup as they've had 5 points shaved off their lead here in the fourth quarter. There's 3:20 remaining in the Knights' lead at 39-30. Eric Revenue has 1 basket so far, so he's got 16 now. Pete, you've got a comment.
So far, this Modesto team seems to try to break up that 4-corner offense the best that I've seen in the playoffs. And once they picked up the ball on a steal on Pay, and another time they intercepted it as Menlo was trying to spread it out again. So I think that Modesto is doing pretty well, or the best I've seen thus far of any teams against that 4-corner offense.
I think that's certainly true, Pete, and would have been interesting to see what would have happened in the CCS championship game if Aptos had been able to play that 4 corners aggressively and make a couple steals as Modesto has here. Aptos didn't have to come back from 14 down, only from about 5.
Okay.
Menlo to inbound from the side. They've got 3:20 left. Their lead has been shaved from 14 to 9. John Pay just made a steal to prevent Modesto from having a chance of cutting it all the way down to 7. 39 to 30. Halpern drives all the way to the bucket and he lays it in. Matt with the leap. Saw the lane. Modesto seemed to be real concerned with the strong side on the right side where Reveno was. Now Harrison turns on the baseline, puts one up, no good, and Reveno comes down with the rebound. He doesn't even have to jump. He just reaches up and grabs it out of everyone else's hands. Reveno has 14 rebounds on the night, along with his 16 points rather. Matt Halpern hit his first points since the first quarter there. Down low it goes to Reveno. Reveno loses control of the ball. Walters picks it up. Walters has a 2-on-2. Trying to drive past 2 men, and he lays it up with the scoop and doesn't even get ironed. Pay comes down with the rebound, and he's fouled by Wend. Wend picks up his 4th foul, and Menlo leads 41 to 30 with 2:29 remaining. Visions of Southern California dancing in their heads now. Once again tonight, the Nightmares have kept the Menlo crowd raucous and noisy, and they've certainly dominated the Modesto fans. John Pay with the underhand style hits it. Only 4 points on the night now for John Pay. 1 bucket and 2 for 3 from the line. But John still contributed. He's pulled down 6 rebounds, played his usual impeccable defense. And he hits both here. He's got 6 points. But this hasn't been a high-scoring night for anybody, except for Reveno. He's got 16, but the whole team only has 43. Menlo's relied on their defense, keeping Modesto outside and forcing shots like that by Dixon. Threw up a 20-footer, and Protiva comes down with the rebound, shovels it to Halpern. Halpern throws a wild long-court pass, which he probably shouldn't have done, and Dixon double dribbles. Foolish move by Ron Dixon. Lost control of the ball and then tried to pick it up and dribble again. He should know better than that. Menlo has a 13-point lead, 43 to 30. .201 left, and Dixon picks up his 2nd personal foul, and Ferrando will go to the line. And they're going to try to push it to 15 points.
Rondo shooting 1-on-1.
Last time Drew had a 1-on-1 situation, he missed the front end. And Protiva jumps into the lane, and that's going to nullify the basket.
No basket.
Modesto gets to inbound from the side. They've got 2:01 left, and somehow they've got to try to cut a 13-point lead out. Menlo certainly played a better game than last night, I feel. Leading Modesto by 13 after struggling the whole game to get in front of an Anderson team, which probably isn't as good as the Panthers are. Now there's a foul inside, and Dixon will be sent to the line.
Personal foul number 34.
Protiva picks up his foul, the 4th. On Brian. Again, I'd just like to say how amazing it is that these players have gone the entire game without substitution after playing in Stockton last night. And Dixon, another bomb, long rebound to Ferrando. Ferrando with a big rebounding night for him. He's got 5, and Pay is nailed trying to go to the basket from the left side, and he'll go to the line again. Dixon picks up another foul. It's his 3rd. There's 1:40 left.
John Pay on the line shooting.
The fact that the Menlo players can go the whole game is also it's a tribute to the players, the substitutes on Menlo, such as Bob Fitzpatrick, who comes in for minimal time, and the players who don't get much playing time at all, but are there every day at practice. And certainly without them, the team couldn't function as a unit as it does. John Pay picks up his 6th point and makes it 7. And Modesto brings in 2 subs. Gonzalez and Kelly enter, leaving our Harrison and Wend. Tony Matthews with 8 and Keith Walters with 8 for Modesto. They're the leading scorers. Walters pumps Ferrando in the air and puts up a 20-footer and nails it. Make it more like a 16-footer, really. Walters cans it, cuts the lead to 13. It's 45-32. Those 2 free throws by Pay give Menlo their biggest lead of the night. Pay's double team. Dixon knocks it away, but Pay gets it back. They go to the 4 corners. Menlo fans are sensing the kill. Ferrando drives in the lane, puts up a 12-footer and hits. Drew Ferrando, 7 points on the night. 6 points his average. Walters with 10 points on the night. Walters drives past Ferrando, and Ferrando nails him on the wrist, and that's the 15th foul. Sends Modesto into the bonus shooting situation. Ferrando picks up just his first foul. 47-32, and this game's locked up, folks. 101 remains. Water shot is no good, and coming down with his 15th rebound of the night is Eric Revno's biggest rebounding night of the playoffs. Eric's certainly dominated in the middle, and he's got to do it for just one more game. Menlo goes to the 4 corners. They've got 43 seconds to kill, and Dixon's called for his 4th foul. Ron Dixon, supposedly an all-league player and really the leader for Modesto, and Dixon hasn't shown anything special tonight. And now the wholesale substitutions are coming in. Al Klein finally relaxing with 43 seconds left, and I'm sure Al hasn't conceded victory until now. Coming into the game, Kevin Howitt, Jervis Williams, and Bob Fitzpatrick, and Mike Texito. Ferrando at the line, so he's going to remain. Entering for Modesto, number 25, Sam Gonzalez, and number 15, Sean Valenzuela.
Moving one-on-one.
Ferrando has a chance at the 1-and-1 again, and this time he hits the front end. If Drew hits this one, it'll be his high game for the playoffs. He's got, we'll have to leave it at 8. Andy Gonzalez comes down with the rebound. Brian Kelly up the court. Kelly to Valenzuela, and Valenzuela hits. So he won't get a win, but at least he'll go home saying he hit a couple one bucket in the Oakland Coliseum. Jervis Williams, the doctor, to Fitzpatrick. Menlo remains in the 4 corners. Williams down low, he's fouled from behind, no call. It goes to Ferrando. There's only 10 seconds left. 7, Ferrando goes to Howitt. Howitt drives to the basket, and he's hit from behind, and Fitzpatrick gets it and nails it at the buzzer. And Menlo's going to Los Angeles. The Menlo Knights have won the game 50-34 here in the Oakland Coliseum. Next Saturday, 6 p.m., the Los Angeles Sports Arena. And we'll be back with the trophy presentation in just a moment.
To the north side quickly. The Aptis and Anderson women's team, please report to the north side quickly.
And there you see the Menlo Knights taking down the Nets, the Northern California champions. Hard to believe after Menlo only 4 weeks ago lost to the Woodside Wildcats.
As soon as we get the final score.
No one could imagine that this school, less than 400 students, could be going to the state championship game.
Santa
but this seems to be the year. And for the final stats, here's Pete Ebner.
And before the final stats, I want to make one comment. This game was delayed because when the girls cut the net for Anderson, each girl had to cut one strand. So instead of starting at 6:30, I think we started about 10 to 7. But tonight the boys did it methodically, very quickly, huh?
And now the Menlo Knights are going over to applaud their own fans. And those fans really deserve it. We're going to be here with the trophy presentation in just a moment. For that, see if we have time to get the stats in before that trophy presentation, Pete. Well, I think we're going to start right now. So we'll give the stats afterwards, as the chairman of this basketball tournament is going to be presenting the trophy.
Sanders, the principal of Cleveland High School in Reseda. Mr. Sanders. I'd like to congratulate both the young ladies and the young men in Division II for some very fine games.
Pete, I think we're actually going to be presenting the girls' game awards first, so why don't we get the stats in while they're taking care of that.
Okay, and let's take a look at the victorious Menlo Knights. Scoring with 16 points tonight was Eric Reveneau on baskets for 2 in the second quarter and 5 in the third and 1 in the fourth quarter, total scoring 16. He was 0 for 2 from the foul line. Followed in the next order was Brian Protiva, who finished strong in the third quarter and for the game with 9 points. He had 2 baskets first half, and he had a basket and 3 for 4 from the foul line in the third quarter alone for his 9 points. And Matt Halpern, really, when they needed it, he scored 6 points in the first quarter for Menlo when everybody else was pretty cold from outside. He finished the game with 8 points. John Pay finished with 7 on a basket, and he was 5 for 6 from the foul line, total of 7 points. Drew Ferrando finished the evening with 8 points on even scoring 2 baskets first half, and in the fourth quarter he did very well with a basket and 2 for 6 from the foul line. Bob Fitzpatrick got that last basket at the buzzer for his 2. Total scoring for Menlo with 50 points. For Modesto, they were led by Keith Walters in a reserve role. He had 4 baskets in the fourth quarter alone for his 10 points, to round out his 10 points with a basket in the second quarter, in the first half. Tony Matthews, one of the forwards, finished with 8 points on 4 baskets. Brian Kelly, the other forward, had a basket for a total of 2 points. The Panthers center, Sergio Harrison, had 2 baskets third quarter, a basket fourth, for a total of 6 points. Ron Dixon, who we thought was a ball of fire and a big scorer, didn't do too well tonight. Maybe the large arena and the final game maybe had something to tell. He only had 2 baskets for a total of 4 points. And the other starting guard was Dennis Wen, who had a basket first quarter, and that was his total scoring for the game. Sean Valenzuela, in a reserve role, had a basket for 2 points, and that pretty much is the scoring for the Modesto Panthers, who end tournament play in this final game against Menlo with 34 points. So that's the scoring for Menlo and Modesto.
Okay, Pete, thanks very much. On the rebounding side of things, Eric Reveneau, to go along with the 16 points, he skied for 15 rebounds, and many of those were offensive tip-ins. John Pay had 6, and Drew Ferrando, from his guard position, got 5, which is a lot higher than he usually gets. Matt Halpern and Brian Pertiva, 2 apiece. And I think it's important to point out that Menlo really won this game with their defense, I think, keeping Modesto at a slower pace and forcing Modesto to take the outside shot. Modesto was hot in the beginning, but once they went cold and got behind, those outside shots just weren't falling, and there was no way they could catch up.
Ian, there's another word that comes to mind tonight. I think the press has really played it up quite big on the peninsula, and that is smart. Menlo plays a smart game of basketball, and tonight when they needed to rebound, pass, do everything that you have to do in basketball, they did. Plus they were very smart and they were patient, and there was no doubt in the second half who was going to win this Division II championship. Definitely the Menlo Knights.
Okay, trophy presentation is coming up for the boys in just a moment.
Karen.
Now the trophy presentation for the Knights coming up.
Of the
And the Menlo fans go crazy. Menlo School is presented with their Division II Northern California Championship trophy. They'll also be awarding all tournament presentations. I'm assuming that's for both last night's game and tonight's. Really ought to give one to Coach Al Klein too, I think, for I think Al's really outcoached every team they've met throughout the CCS and the state playoffs.
And when I left about 10 to 10 last night, Al Klein was sitting there taking notes in the stands, so I bet he didn't get home until about 1:30.
He probably doesn't mind too much, seeing as where it got him.
The other fellow that really should be given a lot of credit is Mark Sullivan, who, to have a good team, you have to have a good assistant coach, and I know that Mark certainly fills that role admirably.
Congratulations, Menlo. Good luck down at the last round of the sports arena. Now the all-tournament team, Division II, first selection.
John Pay receiving his award for all tournament. Sergio Harrison and Anthony Matthews of Modesto both up there with him. Eric Revenue certain to follow.
Todd Province, Anderson High School.
Todd Province of Anderson, who Menlo defeated last night. Eric Revenue is bound to be up there next. If he's not, it's the crime of the century, I would believe. After all, Eric's only scored 42 points in 2 games here.
And Eric Revenue.
And there's Eric Revenue. 2 games, 42 points, 26 rebounds for Eric Revenue. Comes out to a 21-point game and 13 rebound average. And the Menlo fans are singing happy birthday to Eric. And I'm sure they're right. So, that about wraps it up from the Oakland Coliseum Arena. Next week, we'll be at the Los Angeles Sports Center. And before we go, Pete's got one last comment before parting.
My pleasure to work with you, Ian, and I hope that Menlo keeps the record and the string going with a victory in Los Angeles.
Well, I hope we can do it without you, Pete. Till next week, from the Oakland Coliseum, this is Ian Cummings for the Executive Polo Video, signing off.